All right, despite the clouds and a stiff north to northwest wind at 24, we're at 38 degrees, so we've actually warmed back up a little bit, so that's good. Roads are just dry despite the cloudy and chilly weather. In fact, many other spots have worked back into the 30s right now, 37 in Lincoln and Fremont, mid-30s, Wayne, Norfolk, Columbus. And in the wake of our system, we've warmed up to 37 from Red Oak, Atlantic, up toward Carroll and Denison. Most of what we saw across northwestern Missouri just rain, but you can see temperatures just as chilly down there right now. Maryville checking in at 38 degrees. All right, people are talking about this, how much rain we saw Saturday night, just non-stop, continual rain yesterday and even in this morning before we transition to wet snow. Look at some of the radar estimates on Viper, and I think a few of these might be a hair high, but not much. I've seen several reports. Fellow emailed me up from Florence Saturday about 3.5. I noticed some of our Facebook comments. Guy down in Papillion said he had about 3.5. So again, you could see 3, 4, even locally 5 inches of rain over the last, say, 24 to 36 hours. Here's the radar right now. It's completely dry, so that's changed in probably a welcome way after all that moisture. And the tail end of our latest storm kind of spinning up through parts of western Iowa, just a little band of wet snow on the northern end. And you can see this system actually beginning to kind of fall apart just a little bit. But there is another one back to the west, already some moisture increasing from Montana through the Rockies there, and that could impact our weather a little bit by late tomorrow. All right, we'll show you the last 6 hours of radar imagery here in town. And once again, you can see the big storm kind of spinning away, very colorful on our radar here, but once again, that is continuing to push out. Forecast model continues to indicate that track. And again, we'll see clouds, temperatures probably pretty steady in the upper 30s to near 40. Watch the winds. It'll take a time for those to decrease late this afternoon and this evening. And then with lighter winds tonight, I think temps will drop back in the upper 20s to about 30 degrees. So with that being said, again, our morning mix is gone. Maybe a sprinkle or flurry as we get back to 40 this afternoon. Watch for a few slick spots tonight. Again, I think a lot of the moisture will be off the roads, but as temps drop to near 30, any exposed wet areas could get a little bit icy there. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, mainly dry tonight. The forecast for the winds to decrease out of the northeast. And then maybe a rain or snow shower tomorrow late. I think a majority of that one's going to go north of us. And they could see several inches of snow through the Dakotas, parts of northwest Iowa, Minnesota. And then we're mainly dry and just kind of cool here as we head through the rest of the week. Temperatures will be in the 30s for highs. That's pretty close to normal. Lows in the teens. That's pretty close to normal. So we'll get a couple days of normal December weather, and then we may pop back to about 45 next Sunday, and there may be another bigger storm to deal with by the middle of next week. So December continues to be active. And with that being said, you can download our Snowcast app to your smartphone. And it was interesting. Again, this is kind of our winter version of Storm Shield. Of course, if you watch us, you know we talk about that a lot. It has actually a snow forecast and a radar you can track there. Once it got, its hooves in it, no pun intended here as we head towards Christmas, it had us getting just under an inch of snow. That's about what we had here at the station. So again, these tricky forecasts, I've noticed it takes a little time for them to get going for it to lock in, but once it does, by about 8 o'clock, it said, 0.98 inches of snow. That's about 1 inch, and that's about what we had out back.
Yeah, so it's kind of nailed it the last 2 or 3 times.
It takes a minute for it to kind of figure out everything that's going on when we're going from rain, sleet to snow, back to rain. It's challenging. The last 2 or 3 of these have done that. So.
All right, well, Snowcast doing a great job. And this time of the year, we're starting to think of indoor sporting activities.
Yes,
like
we are.